皆さん、英語のそーたです。
And I'm Reilly.
東京の皆さん、お待たせいたしました。2024年全国英会話イベントツアー、東京だけ未確定だったと思うんですけれども、ちょっと詳細お伝えさせてください。概要欄にすべてリンクは貼っていますが、12月7日土曜日、2部制でごらえます。はい。2部制でございます。1部が、13時30分から、そして3時間。ちょっと終了時刻が伸びちゃうことあるかもしれませんけど、3時間です。で、2部が17時、5時30分から3時間。そしてその後、夜9時半とか10時あたりから、今回は2部制のため夜遅くかつ短くなっちゃうとは思うんですけれども、ご飯会をできたらなと思います。ご飯会などは本当にただ一緒にレストランに行くだけなので、何か参加費用などは発生するわけではないんですけれども、本当に皆さんとの交流をメインにさせていただくイベントなので、お話できたらなと思っています。で、すべて概要欄にリンクと、これで全国の日付が揃いましたので、ご都合合いましたらお越しいただければなと思います。いつも東京と大阪は必ず100名超えの大人数でのイベントなんですけれども、今回はそれをもう半分規模にしまして、少人数で行います。大阪、東京が少人数で行われることってなかなかないと思うので、去年、全国回った時にやっぱり東京大阪いつも多いなと思いまして、ありがたいことなんですけどね。で、ご参加者の皆さんにももっと人数少ないバージョンでも楽しんでいただけたらなと思って今年その形で開催いたしますので、去年は多分ね、もう数日で東京はすぐ埋まってしまったので、その点はご注意ください。で、ちょっとそのやる内容、またどっかでね、お話できたらなと思うんですけれども、attractive をテーマにしまして、すごい魅力的なスピーカーに一緒になりましょうというのをテーマに、お届けしたいなと思います。皆さんにいろいろクエスチョンさせていただいたり、で、皆さん同士で話していただいたり、で、そこから英会話レッスンにつなげてお話できたらなと思います。日本語席であったり、聞くだけ専用席であったりっていうのも今回はいろいろ設けようと思ってますので、はい、そういうのも含め、すべて楽しみにしておいていただけたらなと思います。So, Reilly, can you add some comments? Because I've been speaking Japanese, so I think everyone wants to speak listen to you speaking English.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going to all the events. Tokyo has been finalized. That's really cool. And I'm hoping that I can stay for dinner and get to know everyone a little better after the events.
Yeah, and we have to be attractive there.
That's going to be hard for me, I think.
Okay. Yes, are you ready, Reilly?
Yep.
ソータと
Reillyの
台本なし英会話レッスン
Episode 290.
All right, what is the topic for episode 290, Reilly?
Yeah, it's how can foreigners feel comfortable in Japan?
はい、今回のお題は、日本にいる外国人が心地よく過ごせるためにです。ちょっとこちらはですね、僕が決めさせていただいたんですけど、ちょっとライリーにもなんでこれを選んだかとかまだ言ってなくて、英語でもうすぐ説明をさせていただきたいなと思います。So actually, I chose this topic because there was one thing that inspired me to make this episode. I have an exchange student. I have a friend who is an exchange student, and recently he quit his job. And then when I asked him, what happened, I kind of felt like he was not bullied, but he was kind of discriminated against, he said. And then, the detail is his boss was always like scolding and then saying hard things only to him because no exchange students or no foreigners there. It was only him. Then he couldn't learn and they didn't teach him. But when he made some mistakes, they were, upset a lot. So he ended up quitting his job and then he looked so sad when we were talking. That was the biggest reason. The biggest reason is the boss was kind of saying discriminative things, he said. But when I said, what happened to you, he didn't tell me at all. So I couldn't, get to know the details. but maybe, yeah, he was saying, you are from blah, 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 this country, so you're blah, blah, blah. Maybe he got that kind of comment. So, yeah, when I heard that kind of thing, I often feel like Japanese people sometimes have stereotypes or, this country's people are blah, 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 or things like this. So, yeah, and also I have a lot of things to share with you guys. But anyways, this is the initial reason why I decided to make this episode.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, then how about you? Have you ever been discriminated against in Japan? You're foreigner, so blah, 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 that kind of thing.
Um, no, not really. I mean, you know, every once in a while the kids, my students say something,
Mhm.
but they're kids, so that's okay. But by like adults, no, I don't think so. I mean, maybe a comment here or there, but nothing major, and definitely nothing at work that was like serious ever.
Oh, what about the renting stuff, like renting a house?
Um, yeah, I don't think I've had a problem with
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it's been okay for me. But I've heard, of course, that that is a thing. But for me, it's been okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I just remember that now. Like Sean was also saying, who was the co-host, the previous co-host from
Yeah, right, right,
the
right.
UK. Yeah, and then he was saying that I got rejected because of that. So, but yeah, you have no experience like that.
No, I've only lived in, I guess, kind of two apartments in Japan, and both of them, well, now it's not an apartment, I guess, a house, but no, but both of them have been fine, no problem with like, yeah, being a foreigner or whatever.
Okay. Then no discrimination. Then another question is, when do you feel uncomfortable living in Japan? Honestly.
Um,
If not, that's okay, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think I pretty much never feel like seriously uncomfortable. I mean, like, of course, sometimes if you get into like a busy elevator and there's like a lot of Japanese people in there and you're the only foreigner, sometimes that feels weird, but it's
Hmm.
not because the Japanese people are really doing anything. It
Hmm.
just feels weird, like I know that they're thinking, oh, a foreigner is here, something
Hmm.
like that, right? But it's not like a big deal, of course, we've probably talked about this before, but like on trains, the kind of, the gaijin seat, as people say, of course, you've heard of that, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. That happened to me just the other day, actually. Like, yeah, it was a pretty crowded train, and I sat down, and then nobody sat down next to me. But
Hmm.
whatever. That's
Hmm.
kind of normal. And to be honest, I don't mind if nobody sits there, that I have more space. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Like, I mean, you were not feeling uncomfortable so seriously. So, なるほど。ちょっと一回訳させてもらいたいんですけれども、そう、まずは、ライリーに、そういう、住んでてなんかしんどいって思うようなことが、そんなに大きくは今までなかったっていうことだったので、まあ、たまに席座ったら、横誰も座らないとかっていうのは、外国人コミュニティの中ではあるあるのお話みたいですけど、今聞いたところね。そういうのはあったにしても、なんかなんでしょうね。住んでて、偏見とか差別をされたという意味で苦しい思いをしたことはないっていうことだったので、まずそこは僕は安心しました。で、まあ今回のテーマは、This is not only about discrimination. あの、差別とかだけではないんですけどね。なんか、日本ってsometimes there are too many rules and, they can't accept or yeah, they can't accept things flexibly sometimes. Then, yeah, I was wondering if there are some things that bother foreigners or yeah, people from other countries living in Japan or traveling in Japan. That's why I asked Riley. So if you have something like that, please tell me later. But so 差別のお話だけじゃなくて、なんか日本って柔軟に対応できないとき、しないときとかって、僕たち日本人でも 思う時が僕はあるんですけど、例えばこういうルールっていうのがあった時に、いや、ルールわかるけど、今、それ言ってる場合じゃなくないっていう時に、こう、対応してくれない時ってある気がするんですよね。なので、例えばなんか外国の方が、なんでしょうね、ごめんなさい、いい例がパッて浮かばないんですけど、駅とか、なんかあちこちで、ルールはこうだからって言ってすごい怒られてたりするんですけど、いやでも今この荷物やねんやったらそれできひんくないしゃあないくないとか落としちゃったんやったらしゃあないくないとかなんか思う時は結構あるんですけど、なんかそういう差別だけじゃなくて、なんかもうちょっと柔軟にいけたらなと思う時があるっていうのが前提にあるのはまずお伝えしておきたいですね。で一番最初に言ってたお話に戻したいんですけど、僕、留学生の友達がいて、その子が最近仕事辞めたってお話をしてて、で、どうしたんって聞いたら、なんか細かくはやっぱ言ってくれないんですよね。なんか多分よっぽど傷ついたんだと思うんですよね。人にあんま落ち込んだりしたら言いたくないタイプなんだろうなって思ったんですけど、もう言いたくないってなるくらい、日本人の上司の人にすごい差別的なことを言われたり、もう自分だけ怒られたり、で、みんな周り日本人だけど誰も助けてくれなくて、なんかすごい嫌だから辞めることになったっていうお話を聞いたんですよね。で、なんかすごい叫ばれたり、なんか怖い怖いって言ってたので、なんか日本語もまだ上手じゃないんですけど、叩かれたりとかしたのかなと思って、それは聞いたらされてないっていうことだったんですけど、なんか何々人だからみたいなことをすごい言われるって言ってたんですよね。で、なんかそれを聞いたときに、いつかこういう感じのエピソードを作りたいなと思っていて、結構日本ってね、まあ、世代とかでくぐってはいけないかもですけど、何々人だからこうだっていう人って、ね、まあ、日本にもいらっしゃると思うんですよ。もちろんみんながみんなじゃないのもわかるんですけど。なので、なんかこのエピソードを作ることで、誰かがもうそういうことをしちゃう人がいることは仕方がないと思うので、なんかお互いに助け合ったり、僕たちが助けたりヘルプできたりしないかなとかと思って、まあ、このエピソードをまだ作ったっていうのは、お伝えしたいなと思います。Yeah, so the rule things, have you ever felt like or not felt like, oh, this is not flexible and there are too many rules and it's so hard to enjoy. Nothing like that.
I mean, nothing really specific. I mean, to be honest, I don't like doing any kind of paperwork, in America or in Japan. I don't know.
Mm.
Probably nobody likes doing paperwork, but yeah, I really don't like going to the city hall and trying to get anything done. I feel like everything takes a lot longer than you think. Like you're like, oh, I just have to go and fill out this one paper or something, and then you go and you have to like take one ticket, wait in line, then get one paper, wait in another line. Finally, you can do the thing you want, and it takes 45 minutes or something.
Mhm.
Um, so that kind of stuff I don't like. I feel like there's always a lot more steps than I think are strictly necessary.
Mm.
But, I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just have to follow them. So, um,
So in
th-
America, it's less than that. I mean, less than Japan.
yeah, I think so. I mean,
Mhm.
in America, I feel like I don't have to do that much stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like I barely ever have to go to City Hall in America, but I have to. I mean, I guess because I'm a foreigner, there's like more stuff I have to do with the government in Japan, because of immigration and visas and stuff. But um,
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. I don't really know that much about doing it in America, to be honest. I know that getting a driver's license in America is very annoying.
Mhm.
Like the DMV, they call it. It's like the Department of Motor Vehicles. It's like where people go to get the driver's license or whatever. It's
Mhm.
always really long lines. The people who work there are always like really slow. They don't care about like making it easy and fast for you. So
Mhm.
it's kind of different where in America it's like almost like the workers are lazy or bad, maybe.
Mhm.
There's that stereotype at least. But in Japan, it's almost like the rules make the workers slow, even though they're
Mhm. Yeah,
working
yeah,
hard.
yeah. Yeah, too much paper stuff and then Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Oh, sorry. I do have a
mhm.
story about this. I just remembered a specific example.
Okay.
So when Yuki and I got like married, we did the paperwork at City Hall, right?
うん。
And I had to have my birth certificate as part of the documents, you know?
うん。
And so we had made a copy of the birth certificate and we had to translate it for the government for
うん。
Japan.
うん。
And so Yuki like wrote above like all the English on this document and translated it into Japanese for everything.
うん。
You know, even stuff that's like not important.
うん。
She translated everything. And then we get there and they're like, "Oh, um, can you write all of this again on a blank sheet of paper?"
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
was like, why? This is exactly the paper that you have a copy of, and now it's in Japanese too. Why do you need it on blank paper? That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
うん、that's the thing. そう、一個いい例がやっと出てきました。そう、ライリーが今んとこ多分あるんだと思うんですけど、パッて浮かばないんだろうなと思って、そう、でも今出てきてなるほどと思ったんですけど、そう、なんか、日本って、なんでそれをわざわざみたいな柔軟になれない時って僕はあると思うんですよね。さっき今話してる時に一個思ってたのは、例えばなんか、エレベーターのこと、elevator stuff, escalator stuff. Like in
Mm.
Tokyo and in Osaka, they're different. But
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
a lot of Japanese are kind of upset in Shin Osaka Station or in Tokyo for foreigners who don't know the rules. But they don't know. So just calm down. I always feel so. なんか僕いつも思うのがエスカレーターでね、大阪人でも東京どっちやったっけとか、京都逆なんですよ。京都どっちやったっけとか迷うんですけど、外国の人がスーツケース持ってエスカレーターで右か左か言ったら歩く方に立ち止まっちゃってる時に、すっごい怒ってるんですよね。またおじさんって言っちゃったらダメかもだけど、でも僕が見る限りはおじさんが怒ってて、邪魔とかっていう人もいたり、なんで、もうエスカレーターぐらいちょっと待ってあげなはれやって思ったり、なんでそんななんか怒るんやろ、もっと落ち着いて、あるいは教えてあげるだったり、こっちだよってね、ジェスチャーで教えてあげるだったり、なんでなんかこんなちっちゃいことで、なんかちまちま怒ってはんのって思っちゃうことがあるんですよ。それが僕がさっき言ってた、なんかルールはあるけど、知らんねんから分からんねんからしゃあないやんっていう時にもうちょっと大きな心で見てあげなはれやって思う時があるんですよ。それを僕はこのポッドキャスト今日は言いたいんですよ。で、ライリーが今言ってくれてたのは、結婚式でいろいろ提出しないといけないってなった時に、英語でまず書いて、それを全部翻訳したバージョンのコピーも、なんか写真かなんかで撮ったのかななんかそれで撮って、印刷して持ってったら、もう一回全部、この日本語バージョンを、白紙のところにもう一回これに書いてくださいって渡されたんですって。で、彼らからすると、なんでってなるっていう。そうそう。それもそうですね。もう、ええやん、これでっていう。まあでもなんか事情あるのかなそう、なんか偽造とかなんかあんのかなちょっとそれは分からへんけど、そう、なんかそういう時に、なんか柔軟にね、いけたらいいのにねっていうのは確かにありますよね。あともう一個そう、僕これ言おう思ってたのが、there's another story.
Mm.
My kind of hobby has been swimming lately. And
Right,
the
right.
other day, I saw a couple from India. And then
Okay.
that was the first time for me too, like that there were, foreigners, like tourists or yeah, somebody who were trying to have fun there. And it's not a kind of pool, but maybe I guess they misunderstood and they thought it would be a kind of a fun swimming pool, like
Okay.
amusement park pool or something. But
Right.
it's a city swimming pool, so the only thing we could do or we can do there is only swimming.
Right,
With
like
the
laps, right?
yeah, wraps, and then with a strict rule, like swimming on the right side, and then when we come back, we have to wait on the right side. And if you want to, get some rest, you have to, you know, make some space for people who are coming back here. Then, oh yeah, and swimming cap or, no pierces or a lot of rules there.
Mm.
Then when they came in, you know, the staff talked to them and then, you know, I didn't know what happened there, but they came back to the locker room Then they came back to the pool. Then again, the staff talked to them. So maybe repeatedly he was saying, "Oh, you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't wear this. You should wear this hat or cap or something."
Mm.
Then I talked to the staff, like what happened. Then he was saying, "Oh, they didn't know the rule, so I was telling them." And that was okay. But after that, they started swimming, and of course, they didn't know the rule. Then they were kind of having fun, hey, yeah, or something. Then
Mm.
they were stopped in the middle. Then again, the staff went talk to him or her, like you can't stop in the middle. You have to keep swimming until the end. Then the atmosphere changed. Then all the users, Japanese users, were starting, feel upset. Then the atmosphere was really bad for them. Oh,
Mm.
they're not following the rules, and then oh, why are they here or something like this? So it's getting longer. But what I want to say is that sometimes Japanese should understand why they are doing this, or why they don't know that. And you know what I mean, Riley?
Yeah, I think for sure. I mean, there should be, I would say, from Japanese people, a certain amount of understanding at least, but also like tolerance
Yeah, yeah.
of foreigners, tourists, or maybe people who live here but don't know all the rules. And yeah, people are going to make mistakes if they, I mean, even Japanese people might make mistakes if they come to that pool and don't know all
Mm,
the rules, I'm
yeah,
guessing,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Um, so, I think people should be patient with foreigners, or I mean honestly anybody who
Mm,
doesn't know the rules and maybe breaks a rule on accident. But at the same time, I think that once those people are told the rules, they should follow them, because there are
yeah.
rules for a reason, I think.
Hmm.
But the problem might be that, I don't know if those people spoke Japanese well or not, or even if they spoke English well or not. And then you get into a kind of situation where if you can't communicate, what do you do? How do you tell them the rules?
Yeah, the problem was the Japanese staff couldn't speak English. And then the Indian people couldn't understand English either. So even when when I talked to them, they
Right.
couldn't understand me really well.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, but another, you know, weird thing or that made me, yeah, think things that made me feel uncomfortable was Japanese people in the situation. Like they don't try to help them, or they don't try to accept them, or they're not kind of tolerant.
Tolerant. Yeah.
Tolerant. And then they were swimming really slowly, and I really understand that they want to swim fast. I mean, like the Japanese people want to swim faster, but
Mm.
if those Indian people are swimming slowly, they have to stop and wait. Then they started to feel upset and mad at them. And then they were saying, oh, they're too slow, or oh, why are they swimming like that? Then the atmosphere was getting worse and worse. And honest, when I was there, I felt so uncomfortable. That kind of, social pressure, peer pressure, Japanese atmosphere. That
Hmm.
happens a lot in Japan, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no one does anything, but they just complain and they don't even try to help them. So what I did was when talked to the staff saying, I'm okay, even if they're swimming really slowly. So, please don't say to them, you can't stop in the middle. Because, and also I'll swim behind them. So for me, no problem, even if they're swimming slowly. And also please tell all the Japanese users who are kind of feeling uncomfortable, that maybe those Indian people don't know the rules. And another thing I guessed was maybe there are no pools in India. I think they're swimming in the sea or in the lake, right?
Um, yeah, I mean, pools are might be less common.
Yeah.
That's really possible. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I asked them, you guys don't have any pools like this? Then they said yes. So I don't know how to swim. So it was so hard to keep swimming until the end. So yeah, another thing I wanted to say in this episode is sometimes it's important for us to imagine why they can't do it or why they're doing this. Don't you think so, Riley?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. そう、ちょっとめっちゃ熱くなって長くなってきたので、ちょっと一回訳したいんですけど。So, you want to make some comment here? You want to add something, Riley?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think about the second part where, they might not be very good at swimming, which I think, yeah, that's another part where, like, of course, if they're not very good at swimming or they can't swim even, then they're going to be slow. And I think that people should be, yeah, I don't know, like maybe this pool has lanes, right? There's different
Yes.
different places to swim. So I
Yes.
mean that there could be one slow lane and then the
Mhm.
others could be for faster people. And I
Mhm.
think that's fine, right? Um
Yeah. So, maybe they couldn't understand Japanese or English, so they couldn't move to another lane.
right.
Or yeah, that kind of thing happened too. But if, there is a couple just in front of you and then you want to swim faster, in your case, you can accept that.
I mean, I would probably, yeah, of course, I would be fine for that lap or whatever, that one time.
Mm.
And then after that, I might just go to a different lane where,
You change.
right?
なる
I
ほど
would
ね。
change, yeah.
うんうんうん。そっかそっか、そうもできるよね。そう、一回訳したいんですけど、そう、これはちょっと前にあったことなんですけどね、僕プール最近通ってるんですけど、インドのカップルが入ってきたんですよ。で、ここに外国人がこうやって入ってくるって珍しいなと思って見てたんですけど、多分、本当のなんか、アミューズメントパークみたいな感じのプールと間違えたんだと思うんですよ。こう、アスレチックがあってみたいな。でも実際来たところは、ね、ひたすらラップって言ってくれてましたけど、ラップでくるくるくるくる回って泳ぐ、水泳帽をかぶらなあかん、ピアスしたらあかんとかいろいろルールがある、まあ、区民センターのプールなわけですよ。で、そこで起こった問題は、まず、向こう側で、その彼らがなんかえらい注意されてるなと思って、スタッフの人たちに。で、ロッカーに戻って、またプールの場所に戻ってきては、また注意され、また戻って、また戻ってきたらまた注意され、みたいな感じで、僕最初、外国人は入ったらあかんとか言われてんのかなと思って、そう、さっき英語の時にはここちょっと言えなかったんですけど、忘れてたんですけど、もうその時に僕、言いに行ったんですよ。どうしたんですか？何かあったんですか？って言って、絶対日本語とか英語喋られへんプロブレムが起こってるだろうなと思ったのと、外国人ダメとかって言って追い出そうとしてんのかなとかって思っちゃって、僕おせっかいなんでね、バーって行って、どうしたんですかって、向こうの反対側の25メートルまで泳いで行って聞いたんですよ。そしたら、ピアスダメなんですけど、こうでとか、帽子がないから入れないんですけどとかもうそういう時も、もう、わかるけども、あかんの帽子とかと思って、そう。で、なんか貸してあげれるやつとかないんですかって聞いて、そうそう、帽子を貸してくれることになったんですよ。で、次泳げるってなって泳いだら、プールってあれ、なんか左側は、右側通行で途中で止まったらあかんとかね。日本人でもややこしいんですよ。戻ってきたら、ちょっと反対に寄って左側開けて向こうから来る人のためにスペース開けるとかね。もうルールややこしいんですけど、そんなの初めて来た人がわかるわけないじゃないですか。それなのに、バーって泳いで楽しそうにバーって泳いでるんですよ。右側じゃなく。でも誰もそんな泳いでる側がおらんかったから、向こうから来る人がおらんかったから、ファーって彼ら楽しく泳いで、背泳ぎしたり、へいへいして、止まったりしながらやってたら、また注意しに行ってて、ここ止まったらダメなんですとか、ちゃんと止まらず最後まで泳いでくださいとか、そういう泳ぎ方ダメですみたいな、クロールみたいなちゃんとしたやつじゃないとダメですみたいな。で、やっぱりそういう注意とかが入ると、 日本ってなんかこう、みんなでコソコソコソコソみたいな、誰も助けてあげないし、みんななんか嫌な雰囲気を作り出す感じになるの分かりますかね？僕すっごいあれが苦手なんですけど、もうなんかあの人ら邪魔やな、みたいな言い始めるおじさんとかおばさんが出てくる。で、かといってこっちに寄ったらいいんやでって教えてあげるわけでもない、すっごい嫌な顔でただ睨む。なんかもうそれを、で、あとは彼らが遅いってなった時に、後ろついて泳いでる人がもう遅いなーってなって嫌な顔して邪魔やみたいな感じの顔するんですよね。それもまた見たときに、なんかせっかく多分日本に旅行とかあるいはね、住んでるでもいいですけど来て、プール行こうと思って楽しもうと思って来てるのに、なんでこんななんかこの子たちがすごい疎外感を感じるようなことしちゃうんだろうって、僕はなんかいたたまれなくなったんですよね。でも、もう見てられへんと思って、あの、その監視員がいっぱいいる人の中に、この人ちょっと話分かりそうやなと思う人見つけて、言いに行って、止まったらダメって言ってはると思うんですけど、僕の前やったら全然僕、相手が遅くても全然気にしないんで、僕後ろついて泳ぐんで、止まってもあんま怒らんとってあげてくださいって多分、せっかく日本に来て、泳ぎたくて楽しくて来てはると思うから、こんな注意されたり、みんなから嫌な思い感じて見られたら多分彼らも嫌やと思うんですって言ったら、その人はすっごい物分かりのいい人で、たまたまね、いい人がいてくれて、無線でもう、この人たちをちょっと今回はスルーしましょうみたいな感じで通してくれて、あとは僕、周りの人たちになんかみんなもう嫌な雰囲気みたいになってるから、あの人たちに伝えてくれません？多分、インドって僕行ったことあるんですけど、こんなプールとかなくて、海とか川で泳いでるから、正しい泳ぎ方なんてわかんないと思うんですよって言ったら、それを全部の利用者の人に、インドの人が今来てはるけど、多分分かれへんみたいやから、ちょっと許してあげてください。で、楽しくちょっと泳がしてあげてくださいみたいに言いに行ってくれて、その場丸く収まったんですよ。で、最後、インドの子たちに大丈夫やったみたいな、プールないのインドにって聞いたら、そう、ないから泳ぎ方わからなくて止まるなって言われても難しくてって言ってて、やっぱそうやんなって思ったんですよね。そう、なので言いたいことはさっきライリーにも言ってたんですけど、日本に住んでる人とか、過ごしてる人が心地よくいられるために、もう一個僕が大切だなと思うのは、想像することだと思ったんですよね。それがさっき、It's important to imagine って言ってたんですけど、僕もなんでこの子たちはこんな泳ぎ方をするんだろう。なんで止まるんだろうって考えたときに、もしかしたらインドってこういうプールないんかも。あるいはね、楽しく浮いて海でこうわーってしてるから、こうなっちゃうのかもって思ったら、しゃあないなって僕は思えるんですよね。なので、このエピソード聞いてる方にちょっとお伝えしたいのが、そう、時にさっきライリーが言ってたような、我慢強く、tolerate、あれは tolerate、これ発音難しいね、tolerance、忍
Yeah.
耐強さだったり、
Should I
う
write
ん、
that?
今日はね、もういいかなと思ってる。We can cut that part, because
Okay.
I
Yeah,
want
I
to
haven't
talk.
written any. That would be my only one.
It's
Yeah.
okay. そう。今回は
Okay.
もういいかなと思ってる。そう。忍耐強さだったり、あとは臨機応変にflexibility、フレキシブルになることだったり、あとは imagination、こう想像することなんじゃないかなっていうのがちょっとあって、今ここまでお話をしておりました。Yeah. In that situation, something that happened at the end was, I said to them, those staffs, like, please understand and please tell all the users, let's accept them or it's okay for them to swim in any ways. Then they were like sharing that information using a transceiver. This is an English phrase.
You mean like kind of the speaker
Uh,
over the
yeah, how
oh
can you
you
call it? Like a microphone, but it's not a speaker.
oh um a walkie-talkie?
Walkie-talkie? What's that?
Walkie-talkie, it's like it almost looks like an old cell phone and you press the button to talk and then something like that.
Yeah, but it's not like a cell phone thing. That kind of thing. They're using a smart portable machine, which, yeah, they can call on.
Right. So they call other staff. They're not
Yeah,
talking to everyone in the pool, right?
yeah.
I think we would probably call that a walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie. Can you
Yeah.
spell it here in this episode? Can you spell it now?
Yeah, just out loud. So it's walkie, WALKIE, talkie, TALKIE.
うんうんうん。ワキ、初めて聞いた。 walkie-talkie。そう、なんていうの、日本語でなんていうかわかんないですけど、インカムみたいなやつ。そう、わかんない単語あったときは、今みたいに、こうやって、ちっちゃなマシンで運べて、で、それで電話できるやつ、みたいな風に、日本語でも言うじゃないですか。あんな感じでね、言うと伝わるので、それは一個おすすめなのと、でも、名前は walkie-talkie っていうみたいですね。Yeah, so using walkie-talkie, they share the information, so, everything, went smoothly after that.
Okay,
うん。
nice.
I just wanted to tell you. そう。なので、そう、そこは丸く収まったんですよ。他なんかあったかな言おうと思って。あ、そうそうそう。うん。なので、そう、イマジネーションとトラレンスと、フレキシビリティのお話と、そうそう。yeah, if your friend had that kind of problem, like, let's go back to the first one, my exchange student friend, he quit his
Okay.
job, and if that was your friend, like, what would you do? Like, how would you encourage him or support him?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, in that situation, probably his best option is just to get another job. I
Really?
mean, I
Isn't there
think
anything
so.
else? I
I
wanted
mean,
to
it
help
depends.
him.
It depends on if his job is like, if it's a big company, he can probably talk to, HR and say, oh, I feel like I'm being discriminated against or harassed or something like that. But
Mm,
if it's a small company and his boss is like the boss,
mm,
then probably the best option is to change jobs. I mean, yeah, I
mm,
think.
mm. Yeah. And then I told him, like, he's supposed to get his payment next month, next 10th. I mean,
The 10th of next
yeah,
month, yeah.
November. Yeah, on November 10th. But he said, I'm not sure if I can get it. But that's not fair. So,
Um,
mm,
yeah, that's definitely illegal.
mm. So I told him to tell me if you can have it because I'll call or I'll go talk to that person if he can't get paid. Um, but yeah, I'm still wondering about the good solution to it. Mm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and also if there was such a boss, like, mm, can you say anything inspiring? Like, yeah, how can we change that? I'm also wondering, right, John?
Um, how can we change that? I mean, it's it's probably hard to change it quickly. I mean, I think like I'm guessing that his boss is an older man. I could be
Mm.
wrong about that, but
Mm,
I think that, people from the older generations, especially men, might, they do things in a certain way. And I think I mean, let's say it, I mean, it's kind of discrimination. It's maybe in some ways like racist, you could say, or at
mm,
least xenophobic, which means not liking people from outside of your group,
mm,
right?
mm, mm,
Um, and that's hard to change probably in that boss. It
mm,
would be very hard to make that boss think something different. But I think people over time, younger people in Japan, don't think that way as much. Um, and so it will change over time. I think like now, right now, the best option is to get another job, and not every boss is going to be mean and
mm,
harass you or discriminate against you because of your nationality or
mm.
whatever.
And also, I want other coworkers to help him or her in that situation.
I mean, yeah, that would be good too, but I think that, it can be kind of risky for coworkers to do that. If this
Mm,
boss is, a big boss, then yeah, it could hurt you to try to protect the foreigner in the office, and I understand that.
mm.
But especially this is a foreign exchange student, you said.
Yeah,
So like,
and that was only him.
right. And unfortunately for him, I mean, he's probably not going to stay here forever, right? Because he's a foreign exchange
Oh,
student.
but he said I love Japan, so I want to stay here. Yeah, that's why I don't want, you know, want to make him bad about Japan. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. But what I'm saying is for the people at work who maybe could stand up for him, for them, I mean, they probably see this guy as, oh, it's not good that the boss is being mean to him, but he'll probably be gone soon. He'll probably leave the company soon, which is maybe true, maybe not. Maybe he does want to stay forever, but um, for the employees, I think it would be nice if they stand up for him, but I understand if they don't want to because it's, scary. It's risky for them.
Yeah, I would too. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
believe it. I mean, from your Indian family story, I believe it, but
Yeah, yeah. そうやな。
I
難
don't
しいよな。Yeah, I really
yeah, I
understand
don't
that's
think
risky.
yeah, what I'm saying is I don't think it's fair to say everybody you should do that. If you see this kind of thing at work, you should do that. I don't think that's true. I mean, if you feel comfortable doing it, if you feel like it's kind of safe, whatever, of course do it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for me, if it's safe, please do it. That's my comment. But I really understand your perspective too. It's sometimes risky and dangerous. So it's sometimes hard to say do it all the time.
Yeah. And I mean, also this might come off as a little bit uncaring, but I don't think so. I mean, I think people who come here, like, I moved here a while ago, and I don't expect for Japan to be like an easy place to live in the sense that like it's easy to get used to all the different rules and all the different kind of manners and customs and all that stuff. It's going to be hard. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a different country, like um so I feel like sometimes you're going to have challenges like this. And of course, Japanese people, I think people listening to this podcast probably are not the problem for the most part. But of course, Japanese people should try to be as understanding and tolerant and patient with foreigners as possible. But also, foreigners should understand that they're in a different place and there are different rules here, and they should try to, you know, follow them if they can. If they know them. If they don't know the rules, then they can't follow them. So that's a different problem. But you know what I mean.
確かにね。そう、xenophobic.
Yeah, Xeno. It's with an X actually. Xeno and then PHOBIC.
そう、
Xenophobic.
フォーベックはなんかが怖いって意味ですけど、そう、外国人嫌いな人もいるからねっていうところで出てましたけど、そうそう、まあ、もうちょっとで終わりの方向に行きたいなと思うんですけど、そう、なんか、こう、僕はね、なんか困ってる人とかがいたり、あるいは誰かがなんかもう権利搾取されてるとか、誰かがなんか本当不当な扱いしてるみたいなの見たら、僕ね、昔からなんですけど、なんか自分のこと以上に腹が立っちゃうんですよね。で、この前のワンちゃんの時もそうですけど、それが動物であれ、人間であれ、なんだろうな、なんか、すっごい僕腹が立っちゃうんですよね、そういうの見ると。こ黙ってられない。なんか、特に自分だったら言い返すのにとかっていう時に言えてない人とかがいたりすると、なんか、おせっかいかもですけど、ありえへんと思っちゃうんですよね。そういうところにつけ込んで何かをしてる人を見るのがすごく嫌で、そう、今回の、そう、最初に言ってた留学生の友達のお話も、なんか、こう、パッて喋るたびになんか元気なくて、日本大好きって言ってたのに、もちろん今も好きだとは思うんですけど、こんな風な思いにさせていいわけって思うんですよね。で、ニュースとかでもありますよね。それはでも、どこの国でも誰の人種でもするんだと思うんですけど、こう、外国人留学生とか外国人労働者を日本でいじめてるみたいなニュースとかもあったりすると思うんですけど、なんか、せっかく日本に来て、ね、それこそ労働の力にもなってくれたり、楽しもうと思って来てくれて、日本が好きで来てくれてるのに、そんな思いさせていいのかなっていうのはいつも思うんですよね。なので、まあ根底にあるのは、やっぱり日本を好きになってもらいましょうやいっていう。日本、やっぱりいい国やったってみんなで思ってもらいましょうやいっていうのがやっぱ僕は根底にあるんですよね。なので、ライリーにも、そう、彼がね、こう、友達が辞めないといけないってなった時に、 何ができるんだろうねって、どうしたらいいんだろうねっていうお話だったんですけど、まあ、ライリー曰く、もうやめたらいいんじゃないっていう、そう、そんな、やっぱりこう、環境をパッて変えるのがいいと思うっていう、そっかってまあ思ったんですけど、僕はなんか、そういうことされて、まあ本人はケロッとしてるんだと思うんですけど、いやなんか自分がそれで損して辞めるって、なんか違うくないとかと思っちゃって、悪いのは周りのね、その差別する上司だったりするのに、なんかそこが納得できなくて。で、もう一個引っかかってたのが、まあ、ずっとこう、何々人だからみたいに言われるし、めっちゃ嫌なこと言われるし、周りが助けてくれないっていう。ここはさっきライリーと言ってた視点なんですけど、僕が特に言ってたんですけど、周りのその日本人の友達、助けてあげてよって思うんですけど、でもライリーがそうすごい冷静な視点で言ってくれてたのが確かになと思うのが、やっぱり自分もそういう同じことされちゃうかもしれないっていう、それは日本人ですけどね、彼留学生一人って言ってたので、その職場で。僕としては、助けてあげてよ、そんなことされてたらと思うんですけど、やっぱりね、自分にも来ると思ったら助けれなかったり、ね、仕方がないこともあるんじゃないかなと、あるいは外国人側が、まあ、それは別として、ルールがあるところに合わせていく。で、それが無理なら、こう、環境を変えるっていうフレキシビリティも大切だと思うしっていうライリーの視点もあって、確かになとは思いましたが、そうなんか、お金働いた分払ってくれへんかもしれへんって言ってて、僕、それ絶対許せないんで、彼にも、もしそれお金もらわれへんかったら言うてなって言って、電話するか、僕がその分お金取りに行くから、そのお店に取りに行ったから、言うてなって言ったんですけども、それぐらいなんか、僕の中ではありえないこと、なんか、かわいそうだなと思って、すごいなんか悲しそうだなと思ったら、なんかね、嫌だなと思ったんですよね。そう、それが、こう、今のこのお話で言いたかったことですけど、まあ、まとめますと、なんだったかな。こう、助けれる人がいたらね、やっぱ助けてあげたりサポートをしたいものですよね。ただ、まあ、ライリーが言ってたように、こう、外国人側がね、フレキシブルにならないといけないところも、確かにあるのはあるんだと思うので、なんかそこのね、バランスをうまく保てたらいいなと思いますが、とにかく僕が言いたいことは、yeah, let's entertain and let's entertain tourists in any ways, and then you know, I want them to feel comfortable, and I don't want them to change the idea. I love Japan. Then I came to Japan. I don't want them to change that kind of idea. So, um, let's help or なんやろな。助けれるときは助けましょう。今日のエピソードは。
いかがでしたでしょうか？
いかがでしたでしょうか。そうなんか、後半ちょっと何言ったらいいかなとかってなってきましたけど、難しいな。It's such a hard topic. ね、isn't it?
Yeah, it's it's hard. I mean, I think, but the bottom line is basically you just have to be patient with people. People are different from you, and they don't know everything that you know, and you have to understand that. Sometimes that can be hard, but that's basically that's it.
And today too, like I already decided to, make this episode, but just today, behind me at a cafe, there were two old ladies saying, "Oh, in Japan, people from blah blah country, do a lot of robberies in Japan."
In Japan.
Yeah. And then that's why I hate blah blah people. And that was so loud. And I really understand there is a fact too, but that was not really acceptable for me because that words could have hurt somebody else. So yeah. Oh, what do you think about this? That's okay?
No, I don't think that's okay. I mean,
because you were silent. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true either, to be honest.
Oh.
I'm not sure, but a lot of people from a lot of countries say that about foreigners. And often, if you take the amount of tourists and the amount of tourists who like commit crimes, like stealing or something, versus Japanese people who commit crimes,
Yeah.
it might be that tourists don't commit crimes as much. I don't know. I know in like America or something like that, I think it is, like that, where actually Americans commit more crimes per capita percentage wise than tourists do, or immigrants. I don't know, but yeah, people talk about that kind of stuff a lot. And even if it is true, it's I don't know. It's maybe not the most positive way of thinking about it. Like, how can we make sure that I don't know what to say. How can
The bottom line is, in any countries, anywhere, anybody could commit a crime. So not only from specific countries, I mean people from specific countries, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's your point.
Well, what I'm trying to say, and this is kind of difficult to think about on the spot, but it's not so helpful to say I hate people from this country because they steal, but it is helpful to say, like, how do we make it so that people who come to Japan won't steal or something like that, or how do we help these people to understand that, like, they shouldn't steal here? I don't know. There's
that's so hard.
It's hard. Yeah, those are hard problems, but I think it doesn't really do anything to say I hate them. It doesn't help,
Yeah. 確かにな。そう、今日もたまたま、もう僕はこれ1週間ぐらい前から来週はこのエピソードにしようって決めてたんですけど、今日もたまたまカフェで後ろのおばさまたちが、もう特定の国は言いたくないので避けますけど、もうどこどこの国の人たちがさ、もう日本中でさ、強盗してるやん。ほんま嫌いやわね、何人みたいに。おっきい、まあ、お下品な方々でしたわ、見た感じも。そうさっき言わせてもらうと、下品ねって思いながら僕は聞いてたんですけど、大阪悪思わんとってくださいね。みんながみんなこんなんちゃうんで、お上品な大阪人もいっぱいいるんで、僕みたいにって言うときましょうか。それは冗談ですけど、そう。でも本当に見るからになんかもう教養なさそうやなと思う。そう。だから結局ね、そういう差別とかそういうことって僕は教養がないというか、それは勉強ができるできないとかじゃなくて、視野が狭い人がすごいやるっていうイメージがあるので、その国に一回行ってごらんなはれ。いい人たちもいっぱいいますよとかね。まあいろいろ思うことはあるわけですけど、なんかそういうことをこうカフェでしかも大きな声でみんなが聞こえるような声でお下品に言うてる人を見たときに、もうなんかもう嫌だと思って、もしこれで外国人がそこにいた、あるいは親戚に身内にもしかしたら何々人の人がいるかもしれませんよね。娘さんがその人と結婚してるとかっていう場合もあるでしょうし、なんでそういうことも配慮せんとこんな風に言えるんやろうなって思う。で、これはあくまで例で、どこでもそうですよね。なんか日本ってネットでもそうですし、まあこれを聞かれてる方はそういうことをおっしゃらない方多いと思うんですけども、それが皆さんだと思うんですけど、どこどこの国の人はって結構ね、差別的に言うじゃないですか。で、なんか結構こう、なんでしょうね。例えば、白人が黒人に対してしてる差別はおかしいとかっていうくせに、自分がなんかこうアジア圏諸国にやってるこう差別は差別だと思ってない人って僕いると思うんですよ。つまり日本って結構欧米人に甘い気がして、白人かっこいいみたいな風に思うと同時に、もちろん白人に対してこうね、批判的な意見を持ってる人もいるかもですけど、アジア系の諸国の人たちへのなんかこう見下し感、差別感な発言って無意識の中でも僕多い気がするんですよね。でもそれも全部ひっくるめ差別ですよ。全部それ、何ですか、こう、周り見れてない、教養のない発言ですよっていうところに気づいてらっしゃらないんだろうなと思うくらい、日本ではそういう報道とかもあったりするからかもですけど、なんかこう、アジア人系に対しての発言って僕は多いなと思うんですよね。でも、今日はもうどこの国っていうのは一切言わないって決めてたので、いろんな国あるんですけど、アジア人だけじゃなく、いろんな国が実はあったんですけど、僕の中ではストーリーとしては、なんかこういうどこどこ人だからこうみたいな、もうこういう発言とかもう見方は本当に嫌だなっていうのもあって、今回このエピソードを作ってましたね。Yeah, last comment. I feel like, yeah, because you said you had no discrimination. But honestly, in Japan, people are kind of kind to people from America or Western countries, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to Asian countries, I think they don't even notice those comments are discrimination. They're, without noticing them, saying some discriminative words in Japan, You also think so?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm aware being white in Japan, even though I'm a foreigner, it's kind of what can I say? Like, people maybe look at me, Japanese people think of white people as like good foreigners or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
Whereas they might think that Asian foreigners or black foreigners or other,
Yeah.
non-white foreigners are not as good or something,
Mhm.
which is obviously bad.
Mm.
But yeah, so it's something where I'm lucky in that way.
Yeah, you have a kind of not privilege, but advantage.
Well, I mean, yeah, privilege is probably a word for it, or maybe
Mm.
advantage. Yeah, both.
Yeah. So this episode hopefully inspires people to think about this point too. Like they feel like, oh, I don't discriminate against people, but when it comes to Asian countries, I don't want to specify any countries' names, but yeah, when it comes to those Asian countries, without noticing, they're doing those discriminations sometimes. So, including everything, this point is I want our listeners to think about, being nice to all the people in Japan or from other countries. And then if they're in trouble, I want you guys to help them. I'll try them too. So, yeah, that's the point of this episode. So 最後にちょっと締めくくらせていただきたいんですけど、長くなっちゃって、ちょっと気持ちが入って熱くなってきちゃいましたけど、そう、ライリーも今言ってたと思うんですけど、僕、そう、ライリーが最初にね、差別とかあんま経験したことないって言ってて、もちろん欧米人でもあると思いますよ。ショーンとかだったら、例えばこう、レンタル家借りるときに差別されて借りれなかったっていうお話もあったので、もちろん、欧米人で差別されるときももちろんあると思うんですけど、僕は正直日本では欧米人って特権持ってると思うんですよね。なぜかっていうと、白人かっこいい、外国人かっこいいってもう目がハートキュンキュンってなる人っているじゃないですか。でも、その欧米人ってだけでなんか、欧米人に友達がいるってだけでなんかもう自慢みたいな感じの感覚の人もいるでしょうし、つまり、なんかライリーがそうやってこう、差別の経験とかあんまなかったのって、アメリカ人だからっていうのも一個僕はある気もしたんですよね。まあ住んでる地域っていうのももしかしたらあるかもですけど。でも、一方で、それが国が変われば、今ライリーも言ってましたけど、あるいは肌の色が変われば、なんかこう、怖いって思う偏見を持っていたり、どこどこの国の人だからこうっていう思いになっちゃったり、あるいは差別してるつもりなくても無意識に言っちゃってる発言がそれ差別やでっていうようなことを言ってしまったり、なんか日本ってそこをこう結構、欧米人とアジア人での区別も僕ある気がするんですよね。ネットを見ててもそう思いますね。なので、このエピソードを通してお伝えしたいのは、外国人ってね、欧米人だけは外国人ではないので、すべての国の人が日本に来て、よかった、楽しかった、いい国だったって思ってもらえるためには、僕たちが何できるのか、どういう、やっぱこう、視野を持つべきなのか。で、そうなるために普段からどういうふうにこう、いろんなことを見て、考えて勉強すべきなのか、それは僕も含めですけど、っていうのをなんかインスパイアできるエピソードであればなって思いますので、はい、日本にいる外国人がみんな楽しく過ごせるように、ちょっと困ってる人がいたらね、助けたり、僕も引き続きしていきますんで、やっていきましょう。では、今日のエピソードは This is a real one。
いかがでしたでしょうか？
いかがでしたでしょうか？
Two times again. Now it's every time.
Yes、そういうのを毎回確かにやってるけれども、はい、これが本当に今日のエピソードいかがでしたでしょうかです。はい、いろいろなんか考えていただけてると嬉しいなと思います。僕は英語のソータで調べていただくと、YouTube とか Twitter とか、Instagram とかいろいろ出てきますし、イベントの、お申し込みリンクも、このポッドキャストの概要欄だったり、その SNS、インスタとかのプロフィールにも貼ってますので、ぜひご確認いただけたらなと思います。ライリーは Reilly Sullivan XT で調べていただくと出てきますし、Reilly will also post the website link again, and then,
Yes.
yeah, どこだ ?on the history, Instagram's history. ちゃうわ。何やったっけあれ。Highlight.
Highlight. Yeah.
そう、ハイライトに入ってますので、またチェックしてください。では皆さん、ありがとうございました。今日のエピソードは以上でございます。また次回のエピソードでお会いしましょう。
Bye.
Oh, you want to add something? Nothing?
No, I was just, you said 今日のエピソードは again, and I was like, no, 3 times.
あ、そういうことか。
but 以上です。
OK、以上です。バイ。
バイ。